All right, guys, I am here with my weekly What Sold video. I'm going to share with you what sold for me this past week on Depop, Mercari, eBay, and Poshmark. Let you know kind of what's selling for me right now as a full-time reseller. This should help you to know what to look for in the thrift store, or maybe not what to look for if it was a bad sale. So if you're not yet subscribed and you like reseller content, please subscribe down below, hit the bell next to it. That'll give you notifications every time I put out a new video. If you can give this video a thumbs up to start out, it does help the YouTube algorithm, and it helps YouTube know that people want to see this content and push it out. So it's a free way to support the channel. We are going to get into it. I'm going to start with Depop. I sold two things this past week on Depop. One was a Halloween sweatshirt that sold for $25.53, and I just realized that I am not on the screen anymore because I forgot to do this. Where am I? I should be able to... Here we go. All right, let me minimize myself, and we will get back to our Depop sale. $29.74, I guess, or maybe. I think I was running a 15% off sale, so I don't know. I felt like back in the last screen it said 25. Either way, this sold really fast. It's a vintage Halloween sweatshirt. It just had this like Hanes Her Way tag, but it looks just like a very 90s. I got this at a local thrift store when they were doing their like special holiday section, and it was only like $3, I think. So that was a great sale. And then I sold yesterday, I think, this vest. This was a leather vest, sold for $32.50. It was from the brand Overland. So right here you can see Overland, size medium. It was leather, kind of like crochet, hippie, lace looking. So I think what it is my listing price was this, because I put items on a 15% off sale, but then when people would like it, I would send them an offer of like another 15 or something percent off. So maybe 10. So that's where I think we are a little bit confused. Mercari, I actually sold two things, but I can't remember when I go into my completed listings which one of these things sold just this past week. So I'm just going to show you the one that I know did. It was this J. McLaughlin shirt. This was a cotton and white and brown shirt, size large. I think that's one of their newer tags, that blue tag. Lots of things with the browns are selling for me right now, so I think that's why this sold. For me, I feel like this brand usually sells a little bit better in the summer, and most of their pieces are more like springy summer, but they do make some like sweaters and stuff like that. So I guess just kind of decide how you want to do that, if you want to risk sitting on something. Before we get into anything else, I do want to talk about the company that I use for my cross-listing service. If you guys aren't using any cross-listing services, you are wasting lots of time. I know, because I used to manually cross-list. So what I do is I list everything on eBay first. So I will go in, like I have eBay drafts, and I will get from my drafts however many I'm putting out per day, and then I will import them. So you can push right here, and I always import from eBay. And then so you can choose from here what you want to do. If you want to, you can create your item right in CrossList. Now you can see I already did this morning. It'll import all of them, and then you can go to your inventory right here, and you can just select them all, and then you can just bulk post. Here's all the different places you can post on: Poshmark, Mercari, eBay, Depop, Facebook, Etsy, Vinted, Whatnot, Grailed, Shopify, and StarLove. I don't know what StarLove is. That being said, it does it within literally seconds. I can just push that, and then it can go away. And then when I want to delist something, I can just type it in. So if I'm looking for a J. Crew schoolboy blazer, find it, push this button, bulk delist, and everywhere. They are going to be auto delisting soon, like detecting when something sells on another site. It's not out yet, but I really, really like this. It's saving me a ton of time, and it's definitely helping me make more money. I would not cross list manually. So anyway, if you guys want to try it out, if you have any questions, there's a discount code down below and a link. You can use that. Feel free to ask me any questions. I've been using it for a few years now, and I love it. Let's go on to Poshmark. We sold this Free People shirt for $20. This was a size small. It was a crochet ivory, like hooded sweater, and it had a couple of stains that I could not get out. It was new with tags. Unfortunately, I probably could have sold it for more, but I just accepted an offer of $20. My week started out really strong, and then it really slowed down. So I was taking lots of offers, even if they were lower, like this. This is a vintage Y2K 90s access skirt. This was just style based. I did put cottage, grunge, and fairy. I didn't know how this would do, so I'm okay with just, I mean, selling it off, making my money back plus a couple dollars, just because it's not something that I know for sure should have sold for more. This is a bundle, but I don't have a skirt that was in the bundle, so I'm messaging that buyer to see if she wants to pick something else. These J. Jill pants sold super fast. They were a pair of blue iCat, which is like the print, and they were a wide leg crop. They were also in a size 2X, and that definitely helped. They sold within 1 or 2 days for $20. So a good just bread and butter sale. I sold this American Eagle witch shirt for $8. I only ended up making like $1 or $2 on this. When I got home, there was multiple stains, and I decided not to keep it, so I just sold it and made a couple bucks really quick. Next up, I sold, I skipped over these Everlane jeans. I know a lot of people talk about not picking up Everlane. I decided to try these out because they were a tall size. So they were a size 28 long. They were the button fly 90s way high jean, so kind of like a straight leg. And they sold for $24, so I'm still really happy with that. I think definitely since they were like a long or a tall that helped. Next up, I sold these Lululemon men's pants for $32. These were the license to train joggers. These were in a size extra large. I still like selling a lot of Lululemon, whether it's men's or women's. I do look for newer styles, but I can still sell some of the older stuff as well. These Madewell boots sold for $23. These were in a size 6. These were called the Carson boots. I think I've had these since last fall, so I am glad to move them. I really wish I had a week to do nothing, or just like a good straight like 2 or 3 days, because I really want to go through my bins and look for old inventory that I've had since last season and take it to a consignment store and just get rid of it. I don't like to sit on stuff for years and years. I will just consign it or extremely discount it, and so I really want to do that. We'll see what my weekend's like. I leave to go out of town Tuesday for Tennessee. I'm taking my boys. We are going on a trip for a tournament, so that's exciting. Also, if you guys ever are interested, if you're interested in buying anything from me this weekend, I am setting up my PrimeLister to send out 30% offers. Usually I do like 15% or 20%. So I'm offering a little bit more of a discount for this weekend only. I like to do like little kind of sales before I go out of town. So check my Poshmark and eBay. You can watch things or like things, and then that will automatically send you out that 30% off offer. Also, if you want to do any bigger bundles, I will do a higher percentage, but that's my little sale I'm going to run before I go to town here. And then before I do my Disney trip, I'll do my buy one, get one sale that I always do for that. And that will be at the end of October. Okay, I just had an eBay offer come through, I think. Should we check it together? It's a $25 offer on a pair of shorts that I just listed yesterday for $29.99. So I'm definitely taking it. The brand is Gustin. I've never heard of this. These are a pair of men's linen shorts. And I will take a 25 on a 29. It's actually lower than the offer, or they could have even used a coupon to save more money. But I will take that offer. This is a Quinn's tank top that sold for $11. It's a size medium. It was a modal cotton, like muscle tank top. Not the best item from them, so I did just accept that lower offer. Next up was an Anthropologie Zero to Sky dress, sold for $18. I've never heard of this brand, and it's new with tags. It retailed for $188, and I've just had this for too long. It's kind of crazy how something can retail for that much and then not sell. So anyway, yeah, I'm glad to get out of my closet. This Crimson Clover sweater sold for $25. Oops, there goes that sale. It is in a size extra small. I think if it was in a larger size, I could have sold it for a little bit better. It was 100% merino wool. I like selling this brand in the sweaters. Kind of gives me like ski vibes. Next up, I sold this Torrid top for $17. This was in a size 3X. It was an ivory, like stars, galaxy, moon, really cute print on that. A good just like little bread and butter sale. Those kind of sales like between like around $17 to $25, that's what keeps my business going. And then when I get to mix in the higher dollar sales, that's what helps. Like this one, this is a J. Crew coat, sold for $47. This was in a size 18. It was a bright pink wool. This was the side zip city coat, and it wasn't a larger size in a size 18. So I already said that, didn't I? Anyway, I'm happy with that sale. I sold this Ally Miles sweater for $20. This was in a size 1X, pink cowl neck pullover sweater. I usually use the office and career and workwear keywords with LA Miles. Sometimes I will use artsy and lag and look. This Anthropologie Mauve skirt sold for $20. This was a really cute floral pencil skirt. It kind of was like a corduroy, or maybe it wasn't. I thought it was a corduroy material, but it looks like it's just like a denim jean material. Anyway, that was cute. I think that's really cute for fall. I sold this Varley sweater super fast for $27. I know I've heard a couple people say that Varley doesn't sell well for them anymore, except for certain pieces. I still do okay with some stuff. This gave me very fall vibes with the color, and it was just like a loose knit sweater. So I was glad I went with my gut on that. $27 sale within a couple of days. That was an email from Costco. I got my rental car. If you guys have Costco, you can get discounts on rental cars. Did you guys know that? Anyway, these cut from the cloth jeans sold for $18. These were in a size 12. They were the Anna High Rise Flare. This gold, like shiny tag is their newest tag. And that seems to be the only ones that are selling for a decent price for me. Like I said, these only sold for $18, which is still okay. But that's the only ones that I've been picking up. Next up is this vintage lace dress cardigan set, sold for $40, my full asking price. I got this purely based on style. The brand was Pyramid Collection. I didn't feel like that was going to be something people were going to search, so I did not choose to put that in my keywords. I did ivory, romantic, cottage, prairie, and costume. This is just so pretty. So $40 on that. I'm very happy with that sale. Glad I went with my gut. Here's a pair of Skechers Shape Ups that sold for $23. These sold in about a week. So I wouldn't pass them up if they're in good condition, and if they're cheap, they still can sell. They're in a size 10, women's. I sold these Rock Revival pants for $16. I've had these for a really long time. They were a men's size 42, so a larger men's size. And they did have like a little spot there, but I just think that style wasn't the best. Plus they were short. It was like a larger waist size, but a short inseam, so it like wasn't great. This Alpaca Connection sweater sold for $18. This was a size small, blue knit open cardigan sweater. Lots of just average sales here. This is a new with tags skatey swimsuit top in a size extra small. This sold for $15. I got a bunch of these skatey swimsuits pieces from a local thrift world for I think $3 or $4 each this summer. Next up was I'm kind of skipping things. I'll get back to that. Sundance top. This sold for $34, which I'm really happy about. I had it listed for I think $42 or $45. Somebody offered me $25 and I was countering, and then someone else came and bought it like a day later for $34. So I'm really happy about that. It was 100% silk, and it wasn't a size extra or a size large. So I think that those two factors definitely helped. Why didn't it go back to where I was? We sold another Halloween sweater. This is a vintage Halloween sweater that sold for $30. Came from the same store as that other one. This was a really fun pumpkin embroidered with candy corn pullover sweater. No brand, no size. Sold this purely based on style. So I'm definitely happy about that. Next up is this equipment top. This sold for $25. Not a lot of people like to pick up equipment, but I picked this up. It was a size small. It was animal print and it was silk. It sold in under a week for $25. So I will gladly take that. That's just a good average sale. Next up was a Brunello Cucinelli coat that sold for $874. But I did pay $500 or $600 for this at a consignment store. So I made $100. If I paid $600, I made $100. If I paid $500, I made $200. I don't remember exactly. I possibly could have held on to this longer, but my thoughts were this week, someone's giving me an offer on this. This is a crazy high-end item that you're going to have a certain buyer for. If I decline the offer, I could sit on it. I could risk sitting on it for a really long time. Second thought, my sales were getting kind of slow. $100 profit, no matter what it is really good to me. Third thought, I'm going to Disney World. In November. I need to pay off my Disney trip at the beginning of October. This is going to give me a huge payout of $699, which is going to really help with my cost. So anyway, that being said, obviously Brunello is a crazy Bolo brand. I don't get attached personally to my items. I don't think like, oh, I should have kept it to get more money. Like, it's a business. It's not anything personal to me. I am still happy with that, and I think that's all that matters. These are a pair of Free People jeans that sold for $40. These were a size 29 short. They were the Tinsley jeans, and they had this very dirty, grungy look to them. Interesting. Retailed for $98, sold for $40. I'm happy with that. Next up was a Coach wallet that sold for $16. This was a bifold wallet. I don't remember if I got this from a thrift store or if it came in a ThredUp box when I did a Coach ThredUp rescue box recently. I'm not sure. Speaking of that, I've kind of been watching them. I'd like to get another Coach one. This is the ones that are available right now. We have these ones, and they have the name brand handbag available, but the last time I've gotten those, they're not great. So I would love to get the Coach one or the designer, obviously Louis Vuitton, which I never see that available. If you guys are on ThredUp and you do the rescue boxes, let me know if you've gotten any good ones recently, because I haven't done them in a bit. Where were we? Poshmark, the Coach wallet. We were on the Coach wallet. Let me know down below, what was your best sale this week? Mine obviously was that Brunello coat. I would like to know what you guys are selling so it can help me to know what to look for at the thrift store, and we can help each other out in the comments. These are a pair of Rothy's boots that sold for $25. This is not their most popular style. They're a size 10.5 cheetah animal print Chelsea boots, but I did still pick them up because they were cheap. Next up was a cotton wool sweater, sold for $25. I sold this purely based on style. It had this fish on it. I don't know. I just felt like it looked really interesting. And plus it had good material with cotton and wool. So I was like, why not? And I sold it for $25. I don't know. That looks like an AI generated image. That's just what I found. Speaking of AI, I keep seeing all of these resellers saying that they're using ChatGPT to put their item on a model, and I cannot do it. I tell my ChatGPT, put this on a model, make this into a photo, and it just keeps telling me I can't do that. But other people, it's doing it for other people. So how come mine's not doing it for me? This is a bundle of $100. It was a Garnet Hill silk long sleeve top, a Lafayette 148 silk long sleeve top, and a pair of Adidas men's Sambas, which was missing one of the letters. So I am really happy with that $100 offer. This Johnny Was dress sold extremely quickly for $80. I think I paid $30 for this. It was a denim blue chambray embroidered maxi dress. Very, very pretty. Johnny Was Workshop, size medium. Here's what the actual photo looked like. So my earnings in that were $64. So that means I made $34 in that in a couple of days. So I'm happy with that with a fast flip. Another pair of cut from the cloth jeans. These ones were in a size 0, but they were the Charlotte wide leg. So that's why I decided to grab them, because the wide leg is very trending. Again, there's that newer shiny gold tag. Why does it sometimes go back? Okay, let's keep going. We sold this LaFleur dress for $40. This was in a size 12. It was the orange Giovanna 2.0 textured dress. This brand does not sell for as much as it used to, at least for me, or as quickly, but I will still pick it up if it's a good price. And obviously this was new with tags. It was just the regular pricing, I think, at $8 for dresses. This J. Crew sweater blazer sold for $25 quickly. This wasn't a size extra large. It was an ivory cotton. It was the Cecile cardigan. I found another one in a brown or tan, but I listed that one higher because it seems like the brown and tan colors tend to sell for more money. This is a Lily Pulitzer sweater that sold, but I don't have it. I'm messaging the buyer to see if she wants to pick something else, and she hasn't answered me for 3 days. So we will see if she will. This is a pair of Earth Origins clogs that sold for $28 extremely quickly. I hardly ever pick up this brand, but this looks like the Haflinger clogs, like those wool slip-on clogs, and those are very trendy right now. They're really cute. I would actually love to have a pair of shoes like this to wear with my jeans in the fall. And so they sold for $28. So okay brand, but great style. Next up is a pair of Gap and Love Shack Fancy collaboration jogger sweatpants. These sold for $28. I had a hoodie that went with it, but they weren't the same size, so I listed them separately. The hoodie sold for more, and it sold quicker. Next up was this Anthropologie Pilcrow sweater that sold for $25. This was in a size extra small. It was an eyelash, fuzzy sweater. It was new with tags. It retailed for $118. I've had it, I think, since last winter, so I'm glad to move that out. These Nike shoes sold for $18. These I got for $1 at a garage sale this summer. They were the size 7, black and white Oreo fly knit 4.0 shoes, very lightweight. Some wear, but still, definitely somebody could still get some good use out of them. Next up was an Anthropologie Maeve dress that sold for $43. This was the butterfly Pippa dress, and it was new with tags, retailed for $148. And there's the stock photo. So nice, like business kind of workwear dress. This Bowden dress sold for $21. This was a navy blue short sleeve dress. It did have a horse print on it, which is kind of what made me pick it up, even though it was an older tag. So that was a just nice normal sale. This Torrid jacket sold for $26, 3X. I grabbed this because it was a brown faux suede. So obviously fall time, people are looking for the suede or the faux suede, the colors. Good piece from Torrid. Next up with a pair of Spanx pants that sold for $45. And these were in a size extra small petite. So do not rule out Spanx just because they are a small size. They were new with tags, which definitely helped. But they were a pair of wide leg pants. They were called the Spacer pants. They were very soft. I think they had like a modal blend. And really, really good style. So I was happy with that sale. That's excellent for extra small Spanx. $45. Next up, we have a C by Chloe top. This sold for $40. I was really happy with this. I got this on a new rack, I think only a few weeks ago. It was in a size 2 and it was silk blend. So that definitely helped. Really cute. This is the diffusion or lower end line of Chloe. And then I sold these Vionic sandals for $20. These were in a size 8.5. They were called the Farah Lizard sandal. So lizard's like, I think just like the texture of the leather. And I was happy with that. That's a good comfort brand you can be on the lookout for. Sandals aren't going to be selling amazing right now as we're going into fall winter. But if they're still a really good brand, I will do them. Okay, someone's offering me an offer of 50% off on a bundle. I can't do that. I did say I would take larger offers on bundles, but I feel like I would want to do maybe 40% off. Like I want to give people good deals, especially if it's a follower. But I can't go 50% off right now. Like I'll do my buy one get one before. So it's the bundle's priced at $101. So $101. I probably could do like 60 maybe. Yeah, let's take off $40 and just try to counter at 60. It's a Honey Love bra, a logo Lori Goldstein hoodie, and a Damie sweater top. Okay, we'll see if she accepts that. Next up was a Natural Life cardigan sweater sold for $35. This was in a size extra small, and it was new with tags. I've never sold this brand before. I didn't even know it was great until I heard Kaylee Elaine talking about it, and then I was like, oh shoot, I need to be picking this up. So I'm still always learning. Next up was a bundle for $50. It was a pair of Vince pants, tan beige high-rise crop Ever Eve size 32 bootcut jeans, and a pair of new with tags Democracy size 14 pants. Couple of those items I've had for 6+ months. So glad to move those. Next up, we have a pair of Cabby jeans that sold for $22. This exact style sells good for me every time. It's the high-low crop. I've sold them before for up to $35. These ones I just accepted an offer of $22. So be on the lookout for those from Cabby. There's still stuff that sells good from them. Next up was a vintage sweater in a size small. This sold for $45. No brand. Got this purely based on style. It was a cardigan sweater. Very Fair Isle-ish, I would say. Cottagecore grandma. It was from the brand Northern Reflections. It was in a size small. I think I got that from Plato's Closet for $10, if I remember correctly. Next up was a Chico's top that sold for $22, size large. It was a white, like cutout, interesting cutout, new with tags top. $22 on that. I sold this Anthropologie Maeve butterfly top for $15. This was just kind of like a cute little novelty print. Nothing special, smaller size, so I'm fine with a $15 sale. I sold this vintage 90s Y2K dress for $30. This was a from the brand Jonathan Martin, and it was new with tags. I really liked the mesh detail and like the colors for that for fall. So I'm happy somebody got that really pretty dress. And I think that's it for Poshmark. Let's move on to eBay and go back to my sales. Okay. eBay sales, Kokomo, top, shirt, blouse, 2X orange, $13.64. Size 2X, I've had that for a bit. I'm trying out that brand. One time I sold it for $20, this time it's less, so we'll see. This logo Lori Goldstein top sold quickly for $29.99 with a coupon. In a size 2X, logo Lori Goldstein in plus size is selling good for me, guys. So I would look it up. This is a Lululemon men's shirt that sold for $23.62. I've had this since the summer, I think July. So I'm glad to move it out. It was an engineered warmth long sleeve merino wool shirt. Next up are these pair of Duluth Trading Company shorts. They sold for $21. I just listed these at the beginning of the month. They were in a size 10. I like the colors of them. I feel like it's very fall. I like the longer length. And happy with that sale. A pair of Vionic slippers, $34.99 with a coupon. These were called the Gemma slippers. Beige ivory. I've sold their slippers once before, and they did pretty good back then too. Next up was a Ming Wang cardigan that sold for $10.49. Size petite, extra large, but a couple of spots on the sweater, the sleeve and the front. So I listed it for $15 and it sold for that. Next up was a Patagonia women's jacket that sold for $20. This is nothing special. Spell out in the bottom, but not the actual logo. If it doesn't have that actual colorful logo, it doesn't seem to sell as well. Next up was the brand Paper White. This was a dress that sold for $22.50. No clue. I got this purely based off of style. It was 100% linen. So I'm still happy that it sold when I get something purely based on style. I'm grabbing my water if you're watching. All right. Let's keep going. We have a Lauren Ralph Lauren top that sold for $11. This was a plaid rainbow check colorful linen shirt. Since we're going out of summer, I take lower offers and summer type items. This is a pair of Sweet Flex leggings that sold for $34.99 with a coupon. Every time I've been picking up this brand lately, it's been selling within about 1 or 2 weeks for a pretty good price. So I am happy with that, and I will continue to pick it up. Next up was a vintage Y2K 90s shirt that sold for $21. Brand you don't really need to know. It was made in USA. You can see that paper tag, but here's kind of some details. This mesh overlay is popular for this style, and then like that little lettuce like dainty hem, that's popular as well. These Brooks men's shoes sold for $35.99. Black and orange. These were called the Cascadia. They were a trail shoe in really good condition, so happy with that. That was a quick sale. Next up was a vintage Y2K dress that sold for $29.99 with a coupon. This is purely based on style. It was a check plaid linen blend button front maxi dress. Another style-based sale, $13.50. This was a vintage 90s Y2K top. The brand was Vanilla Star. Fitted, animal print. Interesting top. Next up are these Everlane shoes. These sold for $34.63. I really like selling Everlane shoes. These were a pair of navy blue velvet slip-on ballet flats. And ballet flats are still really trendy right now this fall. This is a Beyond Yoga cardigan that sold for $24.96 with a coupon. Black in a size 2X. It did have some pilling, so that was probably why it didn't sell for as much. This is an Alley Miles top that sold for $17.99. Red and white striped, size large, linen blend. It does better in the plus sizes, but sometimes I'll still pick it up in the smaller ones if it has certain factors. So this one, because it was a linen blend, that's why I decided to grab it. Next up was a vintage 90s Y2K skirt, sold for $20. I just felt like the vibes of this were like, yes, somebody's going to want this with the pink and the black, and then like the different like length of the skirt. I sold this Damie Ink top for $20. She actually bought another one right down here for $20.99. I just went ahead and shipped them together, and then I looked at what I charged her for both of the shipping separately, and then I refunded her the difference. So that was nice. She bought 2 items from me. Next up were a pair of Eileen Fisher jeans that sold for $34.99 with a coupon. These sold really quickly. They were a plus size jean in a size 2X, and they were a pull-on style. I sold these Coach heels for $68. These were in a size 8.5. They were the silver Ava shoes, new with tags, kind of square toe, really pretty, very holiday for me, like Christmas. That's what it gives me. This J. Crew sweater sold for $31. I love this. I think it was vintage. It was hand knit, merino wool, rabbit hair, cashmere blend, excellent materials, very unique and cute. Here's a pair of Viore shorts that sold for $18. These were called the Tavi or Tavi beach shorts. Not the best style from them, but I will still pick them up. These Z-Coil shoes sold for $47.99. And kind of just like I was saying, Skechers shape-ups still sell the weird shoes. So to the Z-Coil. And also I would say to this, answer people's questions. I know it's annoying sometimes, but this person asked me, they wanted to know, I think, like if the spring was still like really strong. And I think I'm going to sneeze. Okay, maybe not. Anyway, they were trying to ask me like how far. It did, sorry. how far it pushes down. Like, will it touch the ground? Okay, I said no. Like, how many inches? I said I didn't know that. Anyway, I answered a few of their questions and then I came in and bought them. So that's amazing. Still be on the lookout for Z-Coil. This was a cabbie jacket that sold for $62. This kind of was crazy to me. It was called the Uni Utility Jacket. The style number is 4679. Always look up your cabbie style numbers because some of them can go for crazy money. So this was a newer piece. And what was really funny is I had listed it for $99 because some were selling for that much. And someone commented and said, you can get this on the website for like $40. And I'm like, okay, then go buy it on the website. I didn't say that. I also didn't even check it. I don't think it might even not be for sale anymore. But I sold it for $62, which is actually nuts to me. This is an Eileen Fisher shirt top that sold for $11. It had some oil stains that I could not get out. So I listed it for $15, sold for $11. Next up was a Talbot's jacket that sold for $34.99 with a coupon. This was in a size 16, so larger size, and it was 100% linen, so excellent material. People are still buying linen now, but it's probably going to really fall off here soon. This Catherine's top sold for $20.79 with a coupon. It wasn't a size 4X, lacy, purple top. I was going to say the size, but I already said that. Here's another excellent sale. This is an Arc'teryx jacket that sold for $44.99. I never hardly find Arc'teryx where I am. I live in Omaha. I live in Iowa. I thrift in Omaha. So I'm really happy when I can find it. And this was a super lightweight jacket, so I'm very happy with that sale. Next up is this Chico's top, sold for $21.59 with a coupon. Size 3, which is an extra large. It was a linen, kind of 3/4 length beige top. These BKE men's jeans sold for $27.99 with a coupon. These were in a size 40. They were called the Derrick jean. Again, I feel like when it has a larger waist but a shorter inseam, that makes it harder to sell. This is a Vince sweater, sold for $21.60 with a 20% off coupon. Size medium, 100% cashmere, gray, and yellow. Next up was a vintage 90s Y2K tank top, $24.99 with a coupon. Animal print faux wrap. I don't know. I feel like the animal print is like in. The brand is just requirements. And it did good. It sold really fast. This was an Eileen Fisher sweater that sold for $27. This was in a size extra large, a teal, and the material was 100%, or not 100%, 79% like a Tencel lyocell. Happy with that. Next up was this soft surroundings top, sold for $20. This was in a size 2X, so soft surroundings can do better like some other ones with that larger size. Another soft surroundings, this one was in a 1X. This one sold for $20 as well. Dark floral pleated romantic top. I think I put romantic, or maybe not. Peasant prairie. Torrid cardigan sweater, $20. This was called vegan cashmere. I don't know why they called it that. It just felt soft, I guess. Chunky overknit. So I did look for ones that are newer. This was from 2024. So a nice newer piece. Next up was a piece apart jeans that sold for $45. These were a baggy loose knit, but they had, you can see like stains on the bottom, and I could not get those out, sadly. They were like a barrel leg. If I could have got more for those. Next up was this Eileen Fisher tank top, sold for $17.99. I'm happy with that because it was in a size extra small. It was 100% linen. I sold this Allie Miles top for $25. This sold really fast in a couple of days. It was in a size 1X. It was 100% cotton. And then I think the colors too right now for fall, this like brown and black striped. This is a Frank and Eileen skirt that sold for $55. I got this a while back at Nordstrom Rack. We have a Nordstrom Rack now here close to my town. I've had this for almost a year. A ton of people had it. I don't know. I don't. Sometimes I think it could be good to shop at like the clearance things of Nordstrom Rack and Ross and TJ Maxx and all that, but it can be very oversaturated because everything is the same thing on sale everywhere else. So let me know if you guys shop those for your business. I don't know. I just don't very often. This is a White House Black Market top that sold for $23.99. I never get this brand, but this was surely purely based on style. It had a sheer sleeve, a velvet burnout look, and I really like those colors together. Next was a Torrid corset that sold for $25. This was in a size 4X, and it was like a corset top, which is very trendy right now. I did use goth, cosplay, Halloween, and vampire. Next up was a Banana Republic sweater that sold for $34.99 with a coupon. I'm really happy this sold. I saw somebody looking at this in the Goodwill, and she put it back. I went over and grabbed it. I thought about keeping it for myself. I decided not to. So very happy that that sold quickly. I sold these Ann Taylor jeans for $22. These were in a size 6. They were new with tags. They were a high-rise, wide-leg trouser. Ann Taylor is not a desirable brand for the most part, but sometimes you can still sell some stuff from them. Okay, what were these sales going through? I almost forgot. We have a counter offer on that one. She's doing 53. I'm not going lower than 60, but what I do need to do is double check because I feel like that one Damie sweater I've already sold. Okay, this is from the 12th. Okay, so we are good. This is a Mage sweater. This was a size medium, and it was cashmere. So Mage can be a good bolo brand to look for. Not everything sells amazing, but I was happy with that for $35. Another logo by Lori Goldstein item sold for $29.99 with a coupon. This sold super quickly. It wasn't a size 2X. It was a cotton modal blend, just basic dark gray top. Here's another one of those Kokomo brand tops. This one sold for $24.99 with a coupon. This one was printed with like a blue and brown and a roll tab sleeve. So maybe this one was a little bit more interesting than the plain orange. Next up was a pair of Lululemon men's ABC straight leg pants that sold for $20. For some reason, I am not selling these very well anymore. I don't know what's going on with that, but they're sitting for me for quite a while. I sold these Tory Burch shoes for $42. These were a pair of ballet flats. They were the Riva ballet flat, and they were kind of like a snake skin or like fur, I don't know, pattern, design. This is the brand Diane Snyder. This sold for $25. This was a size medium pink cashmere sweater, and no clue of the brand. I just grabbed it because it was cashmere. I sold this Carhartt jacket for $30. This was a women's size extra large pink full zip like soft shell jacket. Next up were these Fit Flop shoes that sold for $39.99, my full asking price, which is amazing. I've never sold some clogs from Fit Flop, but they did really well. I think it's the perfect time. Obviously, the dark green, great for fall. The clogs, great for fall. Next up was the brand KGUS. I don't know how to say that. Sold for $36. Here's what it looks like. It can sell pretty well, but this one had a logo in the sleeve, so I think that like lowered the value of it. But be on the lookout for that brand. Another pair of Free People jeans. These were the penny pull-on. Only sold for $20. The penny pull-on is not selling for much as it used to, even though it's a good style with that big flare. I sold these American Eagle pants for $25, which I'm very happy about for American Eagle. These were the high-rise wide leg crop. They were baggy, loose, they were corduroy, and they were a little bit of a larger size. So lots of factors going into that sale. Next up was this Free People shirt, sold for $29.99. This was a size medium. It was just a big white button-up, oversized, relaxed fit top. I sold these men's Keen's boot for $38. These were in a size 11.5. They were suede. They were the utility Detroit style boots. So I'll still pick up Keen boots even if they're got a decent amount of wear because guys will still want them for work boots. Next up is this Lululemon Swiftly Tech, sold for $19.79. Purple, size 4. Not going as much as they used to. I'll still pick them up if they're cheap. These Spanx jeans sold for $20.99. These were extra large. They were a kick flare, but I have had these for quite a bit. So happy to get those moving. Another vintage 90s Y2K tank top. This sold for $19.99 in one day. The brand was Nicola. I don't know if you guys have seen this in a haul video yet. It was that very, very stretchy material. But yeah, this sold fast. Very fast. Maybe I could have listed it a bit higher. These Mother jeans sold for $63.99 with a coupon. These were a button fly. They were the Tomcat ankle. They're actually Mother Superior. I just noticed that. So happy with that sale. I love selling Mother jeans. And that is it. What was that noise? A cat? Yes, it is a cat. And it is Whiskers. Okay, let's talk about totals. I did have one Instagram viewer buy a dress from me, so thank you so much to Annette. She bought a long sleeve loft dress for $30. I think you guys are going to see that coming up in an upcoming haul. It was really cute and perfect for fall. On Depop, I made a profit of $44.20. Mercari, $37.08. eBay, $906.16. Poshmark, $882.32. Total profit for the week, $1,906.45. Average profit per day, $272.35. That is perfect. I would love to be there every day. We will see if it keeps going. I hope that this weekend is good. I hope my sale goes good. We'll see if people choose to take advantage of that. Otherwise, I can do other things to try to make more sales. That is my, Bible study. Ryan has Bible study tonight. I almost forgot. Anyway, you guys don't need to know that. Hope you guys have good sales. Again, let me know your best sale this week down below. Maybe it could be something that I can be on the lookout for at my Goodwills. And I will see you guys tomorrow with a haul video. Bye.